Hello everyone, warm welcome to Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel by Testbook. My name is Madhav Sir. I welcome you all in our next important session on finance current affairs. And today we will be discussing the finance current affairs from 25th to 28th of July. But the highlight of this session is we will be talking about digital payment index. हाल ही में आरबीआई ने रिलीज किया था फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स और उस फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स को वी हैव कवर्ड इन मच डिटेल इफ यू रिमेंबर. तो आज जो सेशन है दैट इज गोइंग टू बी रियली वेरी स्पेशल सेशन because I will be discussing three important aspects. One is I'll talk about financial. First one, I'll talk about digital payment index. After covering the digital payment index in detail, as I always do with all the topics, then we will be moving ahead to a new term which is in news these days. And the new term which is in news these days is basically financial conditions index. Then after that I'll give you a quick revision of financial inclusion index और उसके बाद ये digital payment financial condition index as well as financial inclusion index से related हम 8 to 10 MCQs भी solve करेंगे in this particular session itself. And उसके बाद we will be discussing a current affair topic or a current affair news. I have two more news related to the financial world. So this is going to be the entire structure of this particular session and I'm pretty sure you are going to enjoy it. So before I start with the discussion, could you please let me know in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, we are good to go, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Could you please let me know in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. I can assure you guys, after watching this particular session, जब आप examination में बैठेंगे, not only in phase 1 but also in phase 2, you will recognize कि इस session से 2 से 3 question phase 1 में expected है और इस questions का direct या indirect inclusion आपके phase 2 में आपको जरूर देखेगा. हो सकता है कि you can get a question related to financial inclusion in the country, and that question can be in the descriptive format, or for that matter it could be in the paragraph format as well. So this is the most important session of finance current affairs, and I expect that you are going to follow this session thoroughly, and I'm pretty sure that you are going to go through with the PDF as well. If you want to download the PDF of this particular session, the PDF of this particular session is available on my Telegram channel. Here is the link of the Telegram channel. You can join this channel in order to download the PDF of all my upcoming sessions as well as all the past sessions as well. ठीक है जी. So बिना किसी देरी के, I guess we should not waste more time. We should directly start with the discussion. But before I start, I would request you, if you haven't shared the link of this session, do share the link of this session with your friends so that more and more students can join. And आज का जो session है ना, ये सिर्फ RBI Grade B, सिर्फ SEBI Grade A, सिर्फ PFRDA नहीं, जितने भी एग्जाम्स है रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज या बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड, हर एक एग्जामिनेशन के लिए आज का ये सेशन काफी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट रहने वाला है. एंड आई कैन अश्योर यू, आफ्टर द एग्जामिनेशन यू विल फील प्रीटी गुड कि अच्छा किया आज का ये सेशन आपने मिस नहीं किया, अच्छा किया आज का ये सेशन आपने डिटेल में चेक किया, अच्छा किया कि आज के इस सेशन की PDF को आपने डाउनलोड करके जरूर रिवाइज किया, so that you are in a position to answer bare minimum 2 to 3 questions in phase 1 examination of all the regulatory bodies exam. ठीक है जी, बहुत हो गई बातें. I guess we are good to go. चलिए, I'll start my discussion with the first news, that is digital payment index. So this RBI's digital payment index, first of all, if you ask me what is this digital payment index, then again we can come up with the answer that digital payment index is again an initiative taken by RBI, जिसके तहत RBI is trying to identify growth, depth as well as accessibility of the digital payment system. अगर आपको याद हो, when I talked about financial inclusion index, I discussed this point with you that financial inclusion index talks about 3 things. Financial inclusion index talks about 3 things. Those 3 things were, first one, affordability, availability and accessibility. In a similar manner, digital payment index, it also talks about three things. First one is growth, then depth, and third one is accessibility of digital payments. Accessibility of digital payment system, and this is of financial services. So ये जो दो indexes हैं, I would not say that they are same, but they are pretty closely related. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन होगा तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज को यूटिलाइज करेंगे, एंड इफ दे आर यूटिलाइजिंग द फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज देन देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट दीज कंजम्पशन ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में इंक्रीज थ्रू द डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. दूसरी तरफ अगर आपका डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स बढ़ेगा तो इसका मतलब कहीं ना कहीं मोर एंड मोर पब्लिक इज लिंकिंग विद द फॉर्मल सेक्टर or the formal financial sector, so that will result in increase in financial inclusion. तो ये hand in hand चलेंगे दोनों topics. That is the reason they both are important. That is the reason they both are important. ठीक है जी. अब अगले पॉइंट की ओर बढ़ते हैं. अगला पॉइंट ये कहता है कि सर जब भी कभी हम RBI की बात करें, whenever the question is asked related to RBI, the first thing which we need to understand in this digital payment index is RBI has introduced digital payment index, which is basically a tool टू क्वांटिफाई एंड मॉनिटर. तो दो पॉइंट है, एक तो क्वांटिफाई करना, क्वांटिफाई का मतलब चेक करना, रिजल्ट ढूंढना, और दूसरा है मॉनिटर करना. वी आर मॉनिटरिंग द ग्रोथ, डेप्थ एज वेल एज एक्सेसिबिलिटी ऑफ डिजिटल पेमेंट सिस्टम्स अक्रॉस द कंट्री. डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स रिफ्लेक्ट्स द डिग्री टू विच Indian citizens or Indian businesses or the national or I would say nation across businesses are integrating digital channels फॉर फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजेक्शन. तो डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स का मतलब क्या है सर? ये जो इंडेक्स है ये बताता है एक डिग्री. डिग्री मतलब यू कैन से इंटेंसिटी. डिग्री वी कैन टेक इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इंटेंसिटी, दैट हाउ इंटेंसिली और और व्हाट इज द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ यूज ऑफ डिजिटल पेमेंट्स और व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ डिजिटल फाइनेंशियल channels while making the transactions. So it's not only targeting the individuals, persons like you and me, it is also targeting the businesses as well. It is also targeting the businesses as well. Now, unlike financial inclusion index, financial inclusion बड़ा simple था यार. उसमें ये कहा गया कि अगर मान लो आपकी कंट्री में 100 का पॉपुलेशन है, 100 adults है, और 100 adults में if 30 odd adults they are having the bank accounts, they have insurance policies, or they have loan accounts in the NBFCs or something like that, then we say financial inclusion level in the country is 30%. I'm talking in a very layman terms. Don't take me कि मैंने जो बोला that is 100% accurate. It's not accurate. It's just a way to explain you the depth. So that is financial inclusion index, जहां पर हमें बेस ईयर की रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं थी. क्यों बेस ईयर की रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों नहीं थी? क्योंकि आज पॉपुलेशन 100 में से 30 हो गई, कल को मान लो पॉपुलेशन 150 है और उसमें से 50 ऑड जो एडल्ट्स हैं दे आर having the access to the financial services, then I would say 50 by 150, that goes to 33%. So it shows the actual picture. It shows the actual picture. It shows the current status of how well the adults of the country are connected to the financial sector of the economy. Simple है. But अगर मैं बात करूं डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स की, that is very much different. डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स क्या बता रहा है सर? As the name suggests, it shows the intensity. It shows the intensity, and whenever we talk about intensity, it is basically a point of comparison. It is basically a point of comparison. So अगर point of comparison है, then we need something to compare with, and in this case we have a comparison that is base year. कि सर base year बना दिया, उस बेस ईयर में डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स का क्या स्टेटस था, अब उसे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ डिजिटल पेमेंट, व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ डिजिटल पेमेंट इन द कंट्री टुडे. सो अगर बेस ईयर का स्कोर 100 है, इफ द फाइनेंशियल और इफ आई से द डिजिटल पेमेंट status has doubled, then the score will be 200. If it is fourfold, then the score will be 400. If it is fivefold, then it will be 500. तो ये स्कोर से हमें बस इतना पता चलता है कि in comparison to the base year, how far we have come, how intense we have become in terms of digital payment transactions. Is this point clear, guys? तो समझ आया होगा what is the need of base year. So base year is always required when we go for comparison. But in case of financial inclusion, we are calculating the current status. As of the population ratio. Is this point clear? If it is clear, give me yes sir, so that I can move on to the next point quickly. The next point is last DPI value which was given. I'm talking about the last year value, that was March 2024. It was 444.50. Previous in September 2023 it was 418. And if I talk about the current value, that is the most important aspect जहां से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा. लेकिन उससे पहले एक चीज आपको याद रखनी होगी कि सर ये जो बेसिकली हम इंडेक्स की बात कर रहे हैं, दिस इंडेक्स इज प्रेजेंटेड ट्वाइस. A year, twice a financial year it is presented. And as of today जो अभी इंडेक्स प्रेजेंट किया गया, that is for March 2025 and it comes up with a lag of 4 months. तो ये जो इंडेक्स है it is presented with a lag of 4 months. तो मतलब ये हुआ मार्च तक का डेटा देखा गया, अप्रैल मई जून जुलाई, सो 4 महीने हो गए. सो देयर इज अ लैग ऑफ 4 मंथ्स. इससे पहले का जो डेटा था दैट वाज फॉर सितंबर 2024. उससे पहले का जो डेटा था दैट वाज मार्च 2024. समझ आई ये बात? तो ये पॉइंट नोट कर लेना दैट दिस इंडेक्स इज प्रेजेंटेड ट्वाइस अ ईयर and this index is presented for 6 months of the financial year, and this index is presented at a lag of 4 months. ठीक है. अब इसमें अगर मैं बात करूं तो यहां पर जो वैल्यू हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, this value is important, this is important, this is just for your reference, you can ignore it. Then this 6-month increase is important. If I compare with the 6 months data in comparison to September 2024, the current score has increased by 6.4% and the overall growth since 2018 is around 345%. मतलब September 2018 से it has grown around 345%. Now you must be wondering कि सर आपने ये सितंबर की बात क्यों की, या आप you must be wondering that sir आपने 2018 की बात क्यों की. So I have talked about 2018 because of the base year. The base year की वजह से this comparison has been discussed. Even if you want, you can ignore this data as well. It will be again fine. So we are left with 1, 2 and 3. These 3 data are important. Got it, guys? Shall I move on to the next slide? The next slide is again really very important. What does the next slide talks about? The next slide talks about the components. Component means ki how you are going to measure the digital payment index in the country. So in order to measure the digital payment index in the country, it is calculated as a composite index which focuses on 5 critical categories, and these 5 critical categories, they contribute uniquely to India's digital payment ecosystem, which include the first one and the highest weightage is the payment performance. Second one, in terms of, I would say, weightage, is payment enablers. Then we have payment infrastructure, that is the supply side, 15%. Payment infrastructure, that is the demand side, 10%. And the last point is your consumer centricity, that how much the products available in the market, they are consumer centric. कि भैया जो products है, क्या they are only focusing on profit for the organizations or the financial institutes or the fintechs, or it is talking about, or it is focusing on the benefits for the public. So that is basically customer centric. Don't worry, I will be discussing all these points with you in much more detail. So please stay with me. It's going to be very, I would say, happening session today. So let's try to decode all these points one by one. So if I start the decode of all these points one by one, let me remove my image. So first one is payment enablers. Payment enablers weightage is 25%, which talks about internet connectivity, because if you have appropriate internet connectivity, then only you will be capable, enabled to conduct the digital transaction. The smartphone penetration, आधार लिंकेज, बैंकिंग एक्सेस, मर्चेंट डिजिटल एडॉप्शन एंड व्हाट नॉट. अगर आपका मर्चेंट ही यूपीआई नहीं करेगा रिसीव, अगर आपका मर्चेंट ही कार्ड पेमेंट नहीं लेगा, तो even if you want to do a digital payment, you cannot. So what enables you to do a digital payment? That is payment enablers. Then we have this next point is payment performance, which talks about the total number and the value of digital transactions, number of unique users, amount of cash withdrawal, usage frequency, reduction in paper-based transactions. On this particular basis, we identify the performance of digital payments in the country. Then we have demand and supply side. Demand side means debit card, credit card usage, wallet and prepaid payment instruments, mobile and internet banking available and adopted, FASTag penetration. Then on the supply side, we talk about the availability कि भैया बैंक की कितनी branches available है, कितने ATMs है, कितनी POS है, that is point of sale machines है, कितने QR codes है, how many business correspondents are there where I can go and I can have or I can perform the digital transaction. So this is the supply side, this is the demand side. We all know that in an economy, in a market, demand and supply, they go hand in hand. अगर demand बहुत ज़्यादा है, supply नहीं है, तो भी it is useless. अगर supply बहुत ज़्यादा है लेकिन demand नहीं है, then also it is useless. So we need a balance. If we have a demand, we should have a supply. If we have a demand, if we have a supply, we should have demand as well. According to two great economists, one is JB Say and the other economist is JB Say talks about a point very important, that is, according to him, what is market? According to him, what is market? According to JB Say, market is a place where supply creates its own demand. Supply create its own demand. Market is a place where supply creates its own demand. So according to him, if you increase the supply, it will automatically result in increase in demand. For example, I am coming up with a new product, and if anyone is not aware of that particular product, then obviously I cannot expect that there will be a demand for my particular product. But according to according to Canadian School of Economics, they say demand creates its own supply. So both are correct. And both are valid. तो अगर demand है तो supply होगी, supply है तो demand होगी. अगर ये दोनों available है तभी market adopt होगी, तभी market operate करेगी. Next and the last point is customer centric or consumer centric. That is public awareness, user complaints, how well the complaints are registered, how well they are resolved, what are the number of fraud incidents, transaction decline, service availability, financial literacy efforts. They all are the points related to consumer centric. So these weightages, they are really very important. Percentage भले ना पूछे RBI, लेकिन RBI can ask a question that arrange them in decreasing order. So in terms of that, we have payment performance on the top, then payment enabler, then we have payment infrastructure supply side, then we have payment infrastructure demand side, and on the end we have the last one, that is consumer centric. This is the way we can arrange the components. We can arrange the components or the critical 5 categories on the basis of which DPI is calculated in a decreasing order. समझ आ गई बात? तो पेमेंट enablers में इंटरनेट, मोबाइल, आधार, बैंक अकाउंट्स, participants, merchants. Here we have demand side, debit card, credit card, prepaid payment instruments. This is what it is going to create the demand. And if in order to fulfill the demand, you should have supply of branches, ATMs, POS, QR codes. आपने डेबिट कार्ड दे दिया, क्रेडिट कार्ड दे दिया, POS मशीन ही नहीं है, तो भैया क्या करेंगे? डेबिट कार्ड, क्रेडिट कार्ड. आपने POS मशीन लगा दी, लेकिन डेबिट कार्ड, क्रेडिट कार्ड ही नहीं है, तो क्या करेंगे ये POS मशीन? So hand in hand combination is required. Digital performance where we talk about payment value, volume, unique users, paper clearing, currency in circulation, cash withdrawals, whatnot. In consumer centering, these are the points which we have already discussed. Okay? Now, let's increase the intensity of this particular news, because this news, I would say, it has a probability that it can be asked in the examination, and the data which we are covering in this particular news, it has a potential that it can be asked in the, or it can be used while writing a descriptive answer. So if I talk about how well these have performed in the past, so if I talk about how well they have performed in the past, then my answer to this particular question would be the first one. This is how they have increased over the period of time. March 2018 say बढ़ते, I have constructed it till March 2024, so it is 445.50. इसमें कुछ points है which I would like to add. So India has seen 4.45x growth in DPI score in just 6 years, reflecting massive digital transformation because of widespread UPI adoption, rise of fintech startups, government and RBI backed digital inclusion policies. कोई पूछ ले, what are the reasons due to which we have witnessed huge rise in the digital payment index over the period of time? Then my answer to this particular question is very, I would say in simple terms, widespread UPI adoption, rise of fintech startups, government and RBI backed digital inclusions. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? If it is clear, just give me yes, sir, so that we can move to the next point. So that we can move on to the next point. So the next point is, so what is the global scenario on this? If I talk about the global comparison, as India uses DPI, which is a unique in its structure, several countries, they use similar tools. India is not the only country. For example, we have Federal Reserve, non-cash payment study is done in US, in European Union, payment stats, card and mobile and credit transfers are checked. In China, they check electronic payment reports. Obviously, these reports, these names, they are not important, but I'm just giving you, I would say, holistic coverage of the news कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि इंडिया ही ऐसा नहीं है जो ये सब calculations कर रहा है. All the countries out there, they are trying to calculate the same. So India DPI stand out for its multi-layered assessment. So obviously, अगर आप देखेंगे, they are only talking about non-cash payments. They are only talking about card, mobile, credit. But India's DPI is a multi-layered assessment where we not only talk about the data of current number of transactions, we talk about the performance, infrastructure and consumer behavior, which is a very good point. Is this point clear? Now, what is the significance of DPI? अगर मुझसे कोई पूछे क्या फायदा सर DPI का? Sir, it is the indicator of economic digitization. It is a tool for policymakers like RBI, like government, fintech and banking innovation. Whenever you are thinking of getting into a fintech or banking organization, you generally we feel कि कहीं ये sector का boom कम तो नहीं होगा. The way it is, I would say, expanding and it is witnessing a exponential growth, will it survive for long? So this data will give you that confidence that yes, still we have a growth projectile in the upward direction. Then we have consumer behavior insight, which reflects how well the economy is providing them exposure to the digital payments. Before I conclude, I have some data which I would like to discuss. The share of UPI in the country has increased from 34% of the total digital transactions to 83% in 2024. Very important data, remember that. On the other side, RTGS, NEFT, IMPS, credit card, debit card, their contribution has fallen down from 66 to 17%. This is very important. Then the next point which is important is at macro level, UPI transactions, they have increased from 375 crores in 2018 to around 17,000 crores in 2024. मैं यही कहूँगा कि ये exact data मत याद रखना. Exact data is not important, but if you have a rough idea, that is going to solve your purpose. But this is something which you need to remember exactly, which will add assurance to your words whenever you will be typing the correct answer. लेकिन हर चीज का सिर्फ benefit नहीं है, हर चीज के साथ कुछ risk भी involve है. और अगर हम उस risk की बात करें, if we talk about that particular risk. So what are the challenges related to digital payments, not only in India, but overall in general? So the first risk we have is cyber security risk. Agla risk hai, in a nation like India, where we have immense population, still there is a problem related to digital literacy, especially in rural areas where public, they have access to smartphones, but उनका वो confidence नहीं है. If I talk about my side, even my grandparents, if I ask them कि आप UPI payment कीजिए, they won't trust me. They say it's something fraud. My funds will go somewhere else. So अभी भी grassroots level पे वो इंफॉर्मेशन तो पहुंच गई है कि यूपीआई नाम की कोई चीज है, कर सकते हो, मजा आएगा, लेकिन कोई अडेप्ट अभी भी उसमें एक आप कह सकते हैं कि रेजिस्टेंस है टू अडेप्ट दैट. So then we have infrastructure gaps, especially in the rural areas and the underserved regions. So these are the reasons. So as a whole, if I conclude, it's a very powerful reflection of India's journey towards a cashless economy. So that is the reason this is something which has a great potential that it can be asked in the examination. Now, the most important thing is now I would like to ask, that is the data. That is the data. कि सर अभी तक आपने डेटा तो डिस्कस ही नहीं किया. You have discussed only and only the data of March. You haven't discussed the data of September 2024 and the current one, that is March 2025. तो ऑब्वियसली जो लोग ये सोच रहे हैं कि सिर्फ पीडीएफ पढ़ लेंगे काम चल जाएगा, तो मैंने आज थोड़ा सा गिमिक किया, मैंने डेटा पीडीएफ में लिखा ही नहीं. सो दैट आई वांट यू ऑल टू जॉइन द सेशन. You should learn by watching the video. That is more important. So for September, the score was 465.33, which has now increased to 493.22, which is approximately 6% increase. Which is approximately 6% increase. तो ये डेटा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, याद कर लेना. Do remember it. It is very important. It is going to get only in the video. It's not being available in your PDF. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया, समझ आ गया. Now, tell me, would you love to solve few questions on the same news? Would you love to solve few questions on the same news? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Are you guys ready? Shall I come up with a question on the same? Will you be answering the question? Okay. So as you have seen in today's discussion, that sometimes few areas which we read, there are two ways to read it. यही news you can read in just 2 minutes by just going through with the latest data, weightage and all. Fine, that is okay. इतने ही अगर information आपके पास है, that means you are in a position to answer the question in the examination. But problem क्या है? Problem ये है कि जब ये question examination में पूछा जाता है, especially in the regulatory body exams, then RBI do not come up with a question कि भैया बस सिर्फ score बता दो. No. RBI want to understand that how well you have read, especially the indices which have been published by RBI. So keeping the same in mind, I have framed this particular news. I'm pretty sure that you must have enjoyed, and the moment we will be solving a question on the same, it will give you more confidence. Ready? Chalo. Here we go. And the question is now on your screen. Give me the answer. Go through with the question. You have 30 seconds. Take a time of 30 seconds and try to answer this question quickly. Then I will be reading it. I will be giving you the correct answer. I have two questions on the same for you guys, and both the questions are not direct ones. Questions have been framed in such a manner that there is a possibility that if it will be asked in the examination, you will be able to solve it. Go on. I have not seen any answer in the comment section yet. Okay, chalo ji. If you have given the answer, now it's my turn to read the question and check that whether you all have given the correct answer or not. So the question says, which of the following statement correctly reflects the trend in RBI digital payment index between 2018 to 2024? DPI has grown flat. No, no, no. DPI showed a decline. No, no, no. DPI doubled between March 2018 to 2020 and tripled by March 2022. Okay. The highest single year growth occurred March 2023 and March 2024. Okay. DPI experienced negative growth between March 20. ये तो हो नहीं सकता. ठीक है. अब जो जो चीजें नेगेटिव थी वो तो हमने हटा दी. अब पॉइंट आया कि सर आरबीआई ने डेटा पे तो क्वेश्चन पूछा नहीं, बिकॉज मेनी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स व्हेन दे रीड द पीडीएफ द वे आई कम अप विद, दे से कि सर आपने कुछ ज्यादा ही इंफॉर्मेशन ऐड की है, वहां से तो क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा. आई ट्रस्ट यू, बट if you can see if you can see the image which I have added over here, that is very important. And in this, if you talk about the highest increase, there is an increase of almost 63 points out of 207 from 2020 to 2021. And if you try to calculate the percentage, it's going to be around 30%. उसके बाद अगर आप यहाँ देखेंगे तो it is 30 and 49, that is around 79 out of 270. So अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करेंगे then also it will be around the same. तो अगर आप ध्यान से देखें टेक्निकली तो ये 23 to 2024 वाला तो आंसर हो नहीं सकता. 2023 से 2024 वाला आंसर तो हो नहीं सकता. So in that particular case the D option is incorrect. उस वजह से D option will be rejected. 2023 से 2024 का हाईएस्ट इंक्रीज नहीं है. करेक्ट ऑप्शन क्या होगी? दैट विल बी सी ऑप्शन, दैट इज करेक्ट. अब आई हैव अ होमवर्क फॉर यू. योर होमवर्क इज टुडे गो एंड चेक द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर द डी ऑप्शन. डी ऑप्शन का करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा? 2020 टू 21 में हाईएस्ट ग्रोथ थी, 2021 टू 22 में हाईएस्ट ग्रोथ थी. गो, मैंने बता दिया कैसे चेक करते हैं. चेक इट एंड गिव मी द आंसर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. On my side, everything is fine. There is no buffering at my end. Please check your connection, Uncle. Moving on to the next. The next question I have for you all is, the next question I have for you all is now on your screen. Which of the following statement is false? Please read the question carefully regarding RBI DPI. So if I talk about RBI DPI, the DPI for March 2024 was 444.50. That is correct. 345 increase from the base year. बिल्कुल सर, base year में क्या सर स्कोर? 100 से कितना increase हुआ? 345 into 100. What will be the percentage? That is 345%. That is absolutely correct. But I would like to add an information जो कि मैंने सिर्फ क्लास में दी है. That is what is the current score? So current score is 493.22, जिसके हिसाब से there is an increase of 393% if I compare it to the base year. So this statement is correct. Base year is 2018, correct. Between 2023 and 2024, DPI grew by more than 50%. I'll mark it. DPI captures the digital payment landscape through 5 parameters. That is correct. DPI is composite index. That is correct. लेकिन क्या growth 50% का हुआ? मतलब 200 से सीधा 150 350 हो गया? नहीं सर, ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ. If there was not that case, so C option is incorrect and it has not grew more than 50%. That is incorrect. Clear है जी? Okay. Now moving on to the second news. I hope the digital payment index is clear. ठीक है जी, इससे ज्यादा डिटेल रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है. इतना कर लिया, कोई कहीं से भी क्वेश्चन बनाए, you will be in a position to answer it. If it is clear, give me yes sir. Shall I move ahead? Okay. Now the next point is a very unfamiliar term, not a very new term. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ बहुत नया इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ. It was in news, more of theoretical one. So let's try to read it. I'm again saying let's try to read it. There is nothing to understand in this particular news. Reserve Bank of India has recently proposed a development of daily frequency. Very important, daily frequency. भैया अभी आपने बात की digital payment index. What is the frequency? 6 months. Financial inclusion index. What is the frequency? 1 year. Financial condition index, what is going to be your expected, it's not yet, but it is expected to be daily frequency, which means a dynamic analytical tool designed basically to track and interpret the financial health of India's financial market in real time. So it is basically specifically not related to the entire financial sector. It focuses majorly on financial market. This index aims to guide policy decisions, and it will offer deeper insight for market analysts and economists. तो जो आपकी market scenarios है उसके लिए financial condition index has been proposed, and this has been proposed by RBI that it will be having a daily frequency. What is the aim? Sir, aim is to create single composite indicator जो reflect करे how tight or how loose the current financial conditions are in comparison to historical norms. Positive FCI value implies tight financial conditions, means less credit flow, higher cost of funds. Investor should think twice before investing. Negative FCI value means easier financial conditions, cheaper credit, strong liquidity, increased appetite. So जो आपको लगता है पॉजिटिव है, यहाँ पे इसे मेंशन किया गया नेगेटिव. जो आपको लगता है नेगेटिव है, it has been mentioned positive in terms of financial conditions index. FCI would be based on 20 करोड़ नहीं है, core है, 20 core financial indicators drawn from the first point, that is money market, government securities, corporate bond market, equity market, and foreign exchange market. On the basis of these parameters, this financial condition index is going to be prepared. So each indicator is standardized to make it comparable, and then aggregated to product a single FCI score. तो उन्होंने क्या कहा कि सर पहले तो जितने भी इंडिकेटर्स हैं they will be standard, जो short term money market, then government security short term long term, bond yield, spread over government securities, equity market में index level, Sensex, Nifty, volatility, and foreign exchange market में we'll talk about INR and USD, that is US dollar volatility, forex reserve trends. तो इन सब को पहले तो individually develop किया जाएगा. They will come up with individual scores so that you can analyze how money market is performing, and on the basis of these individual scores a composite score will be also presented, and that composite score will show you the current picture of your financial market. ठीक है, अगर मैं थोड़ी सी इसमें बातें करूं, RBI has tested FCI using data from 2012 onwards, highlighting significant market events. Tightest financial conditions, July 2013. Tightest financial conditions of value plus का मतलब ही टाइट हो गया. टाइट का मतलब क्या? लोन कम मिलेगा मार्केट में, लिक्विडिटी कम है. आप कहो कि लोन इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं है, कैपिटल आउटफ्लोज, मतलब investors, they are not investing in India, they are going out of India. So caused by taper tantrum. बताऊंगा ये taper tantrum क्या है. तो if someone asks me what is the reason that we have witnessed tightest financial conditions in July 2013, so that was because of taper tantrum. I'll discuss what is taper tantrum. A global market panic triggered when the US Federal Reserve hinted at reducing its bond purchases. I'll discuss it. It has led to tightened conditions. Then we have easiest financial conditions, quite obvious, after COVID, or in order to come out of COVID. June 2021, RBI has come up with massive liquidity infusion, government reconstruction plans and whatnot. Liquidity market में लोन लेना आसान था, लोन के lending rates कम थे. That was a loose situation, easiest financial condition, and the score was FCI minus 2.197. Again, पॉजिटिव और टाइटन वर्ड का मतलब पता होना चाहिए, नेगेटिव और इजीएस्ट वे का मतलब पता होना चाहिए. स्कोर इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज टेपर टेंट्रम. अगर मुझसे कोई पूछता है कि व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय द वर्ड टेपर टेंट्रम, हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, और आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, द माय आंसर टू दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन वुड बी टेपर टेंट्रम का मतलब क्या होगा. सर टेपर टेंट्रम एक ऐसा फाइनेंशियल इवेंट की बात हो रही है जब लगभग इन मिड ऑफ 2013 जब आरबीआई के फेडरल रिजर्व यूएस के फेडरल रिजर्व ने अनाउंस किया कि इट इज गोइंग टू ग्रेजुअली रिड्यूस इट्स क्वांटिटेटिव ईजिंग प्रोग्राम, gradually reduce or taper its quantitative easing program. तो इससे क्या हुआ सर, ग्लोबल पैनिक हो गया. देयर वाज अ पैनिक अमंग द ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स, जिसकी वजह से कैपिटल फ्लाइट फ्रॉम इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स, जितनी भी फंड इन्वेस्टेड थे इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स में, दे वर रिटर्न टू यूएस. देयर वाज अ शार्प depreciation of emerging market currency because of high demand of US dollar in the market, sudden rise in bond yield because bond price fell down, market volatility was very high, liquidity tightened. India, being one of the affected emerging market, has also witnessed spike in the FCI values and it was the extreme value till date. तो जब फेडरल रिजर्व ने बस अनाउंस ही किया कि भैया मैंने जो आपको फायदे दे रखे हैं वो कम करने वाला हूं, उस अनाउंसमेंट पे पैनिक हो गया और उस पैनिक की वजह से ये सारी कंडीशंस हुई और उस कंडीशन को कहा गया था टेपर टेंट्रम. टेपर का मतलब रिड्यूस करना, कि जितने बेनिफिट्स दिए उन्हें टेप डाउन करो. टेपर आया था ना, इफ यू आर मूविंग ऑन अ रोड एंड द रोड बिकम्स नैरो, वी ऑल्सो यूज अ वर्ड टेपर. रोड टेपर हो गई, आगे जाके पतली हो गई. टेंट्रम का मतलब किया तो है नहीं अच्छे से, लेकिन माहौल ज्यादा बना दिया. सो दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव यूज्ड द वर्ड टेपर टेंट्रम. आई होप नाउ इट इज क्लियर. सिग्निफिकेंस क्या होगा इस डेली एफसीआई का? सर पहला तो रियल टाइम असेसमेंट होगी विच विल अलाउ द पॉलिसी मेकर्स टू टेक स्विफ्ट डिसीजंस. अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम, इट विल डिटेक्ट साइंस ऑफ स्ट्रेस बिफोर उसका इंपैक्ट इकोनॉमी पे पड़े. Informed monetary policy, it will help RBI to decide interest rate, liquidity injection or interventions more appropriately. Transparency and research, it will promote indigenous research in financial monitoring and policy planning, क्योंकि आपके पास डेटा अब वीकली, मंथली, क्वार्टरली नहीं है, यू हैव डेली बेसिस डेटा. एंड नेक्स्ट इज इन्वेस्टर कॉन्फिडेंस. अनडाउटेडली अगर मैं इन्वेस्टर हूं, मैंने कोई डेटा चेक किया वो 6 महीने पुराना था, तो मैं सोचूंगा यार इन्वेस्ट करूं या नहीं, क्योंकि ये तो मार्केट की कंडीशन 2 महीने 6 महीने पहले थी. बट अगर मुझे पता है कल ये कंडीशन थी, दैट मींस आई एम इन अ गुड हैंड्स. आई कैन टेक अ गुड डिसीजन और अ वैल्यूएबल डिसीजन और एन एप्रोप्रिएट डिसीजन विद द हेल्प ऑफ डेली एफसीआई डेटा. क्लियर हुई ये बात? समझ आया? If this point is clear, this is very important. What is the significance? क्योंकि इस पे क्वेश्चन चल रहा है, इस पे काफी ज्यादा डिबेट भी हो रही है कि why daily FCI. तो that are the reasons: real time assessment, early warning, informed monetary policy, transparency and research, and investor confidence. I hope the point is very much clear to everyone. चलो जी, moving on to the next point. By proposing daily FCI, RBI aims to enhance toolkit of real-time economic surveillance. तो ये क्या है सर? It is basically to enhance the toolkit of real-time economic surveillance, making India one of the few major economies with such a appropriate and close financial index. Global context की अगर मैं बात करूं, countries like US, Canada, and even Eurozone, they maintain a financial condition indices, but most of them are coming up with the indices which are weekly or monthly. So a daily FCI from India would set a benchmark for real-time financial diagnosis, not only for developed nations, not only for emerging countries, but also for the developed economies. So I would conclude my discussion in this manner. The proposal for the daily financial condition index will undoubtedly shift the market related decisions, not majorly on speculation, but now majorly on data driven proactive economic management will be done. So this tool will ensure financial stability. It will help to respond crisis situation. It will help to come up with better financial and monetary conditions. So it reflects that India is growing capability in developing a sophisticated financial monitoring tool, and it will add, as I said earlier, it will add a very important toolkit of real-time economic surveillance on the Indian economy. मजा आया? मजा आया? What is financial condition index? I hope that is absolutely clear. मजा आया होगा. इसमें कोई भी पॉइंट ना समझ आया हो तो एक बार आप पूछ लीजिए. If you have any doubt till this point, you may ask, please. डन, चले आगे, चल आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now, before I move on to the next news, obviously we have a question to solve, and the question is now on your screen. Try to answer the question. Regarding the proposed financial condition index by RBI, which of the following statement is or are true? It will be updated quarterly to assess long-term financial health? No. It includes indicators from equity, forex, bond market? True. A negative FCI value indicates tightening of the financial conditions? No. Negative means easing of the financial conditions. It covers 20 financial market indicators. See, I would like to identify this point. 20 core indicators. ठीक है जी, 20 core indicators. So on that particular basis, D statement is also correct. B statement is also correct. The highest stress was observed during 2013 during taper tantrum. That is correct. So मेरे हिसाब से आंसर होना चाहिए BDE. That is absolutely correct. जरूरी नहीं है कि if I'm coming up with a question उसका आंसर एक ही ऑप्शन होगा. भैया अगर आप मेरी क्लास रेगुलर बेसिस पे अटेंड कर रहे तो यू मस्ट नो एक ही ऑप्शन का आंसर ढूंढकर अगर आप आगे बढ़ जाएंगे यू विल गेट इन अ ट्रबल. ऑब्वियसली एग्जाम में ऐसा नहीं होगा. एग्जामिनर विल गिव यू एन नंबर ऑफ कॉम्बिनेशंस इन दी फॉर्मेट. वो क्वेश्चन ऐसा होगा कि पहले 4 स्टेटमेंट्स दी होंगी, 5 स्टेटमेंट्स दी होंगी, फिर नीचे कॉम्बिनेशन दिया होगा A B C D E. उसमें से आपको एक चूज करना होगा. बट आई वॉन्ट यू ऑल टू बी very clear that if you're coming up with a question, if the question is in front of you, you should read all the statements to avoid any mistake in the examination. So answer is B, D, E. Agla question dekho. Consider the following statement or the following facts about India's financial condition index which are correct. It is meant to help analysts and policy makers assess financial stress in real time. Assess financial stress in real time. Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. The easiest conditions were seen post-COVID, June 2021. Correct. A value of FCI 0 implies extremely tight. No, sir. Positive means tight. FCI is already in implementation since 2022. No, ये तो अभी बात हो रही है. It incorporates indicators from government securities and corporate bonds. Yes, sir. इसमें क्या क्या indicators हैं? If we talk about the indicators, and it is money market, government securities, corporate bond market, equity market, foreign exchange market. I repeat, money market, government security market, corporate bond market, equity market, and foreign or forex market. Forex market. These are the 5, I would say, the market segments which are being traced with the help of 20 core indicators. So answer क्या होगा इस question का? So the answer to this particular question is A is correct, B is correct, E is correct, C तो incorrect है ना बेटा. पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए. 0 का मतलब तो है आज की कंडीशन. 0 का मतलब है क्या? ना टाइट है ना ही ईज है. इट्स अ बेस, इट्स अ 0 कंडीशन. हम 0 से तो कंपेयर करेंगे. पॉजिटिव की तरफ जाएगा टाइट कहेंगे, नेगेटिव की तरफ जाएगा तो ईज कहेंगे, 0 होगा तो न्यूट्रल बोल देंगे. दैट इज अ पॉइंट. सो आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी A, B, E. दोज हु हैव गिवन द करेक्ट आंसर. आप बढ़िया. अब मैं इस पे बात करूंगा नहीं. क्यों नहीं करूंगा? क्योंकि मैंने ऑलरेडी बात कर ली है आपके साथ. आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड द फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स इन मच डिटेल इन द पास्ट. सो फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स वाज डिस्कस्ड. आई होप यू रिमेंबर व्हाट इज फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन. आई होप यू रिमेंबर द फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स. यू रिमेंबर व्हेन इट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस. अगर आप ध्यान से देखें, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स इन मार्च 2021 कवरिंग अप टू मार्च 2021. तो यहाँ भी मार्च 2021 है. वहां पे बेस ईयर मार्च 2018 है, लेकिन जो इनिशिएट हुआ था DPI दैट वाज आल्सो इन 2021. तो मंथ छोड़ दो. बोथ द फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स एंड DPI दैट इज डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स बोथ वर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन 2021 ओनली. याद रखना. देन यू हैव द वेटेज ओवर हियर, एक्सेस, यूसेज एंड क्वालिटी. आई होप यू रिमेंबर द 3 A's. accessibility, affordability and availability to define and understand financial inclusion. उसके बाद we have even discussed the 4 dimensions of each of the indicator, that is access, then usage के 5 dimensions हमने पढ़े, quality के 3 dimensions हमने पढ़े, इसके बारे में बात की और उन indicators का total sum था 97, जिसमें से 90 primary indicators थे और 7 inequality indicators थे, जिसके बारे में हमने काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस किया. Then even we have discussed कि करंट डेटा क्या है 67, डीपीआई का करंट डेटा क्या है, दैट इज 493.22, लेकिन इट इज अ कंपैरेटिव डेटा, इट इज एन एग्जैक्ट डेटा इन टर्म्स ऑफ यू कैन टेक इट एज अ स्कोर आउट ऑफ 100 एंड दिस स्कोर इज नॉट अ कंपैरिजन, दैट इज द एक्चुअल स्टेटस. गॉट इट? चलो, would you like to solve a question on financial inclusion index? Would you like to solve a question on financial inclusion index? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Here we have the question. Which of the following statement correctly describe the RBI Financial Inclusion Index as of March 2025? March 2025 का डेटा क्या है 67, that is correct. Quality parameter holds the highest weightage in the index. Quality parameter का highest index highest weightage है क्या? क्वालिटी का हाईएस्ट वेटेज नहीं है, क्वालिटी का वेटेज है 20%, यूसेज का वेटेज है 35% और एक्सेस का वेटेज है 45% आई एम सॉरी एंड एक्सेस का वेटेज है दैट इज 35%. तो उसके बेसिस पे अगर हम बात करें तो हाईएस्ट क्या हुआ, यूसेज हुआ. तो अगर हाईएस्ट यूसेज हुआ तो बी गलत हो गया. Financial inclusion index does not have a base year, that is correct. Access, usage, quality are the 3 parameters, that is also correct. The improvement in 2025 was mainly due to access parameter. So जो 2025 में improvement हुई that was majorly because of access parameter, I would say नहीं. Access parameter तो already outperforming था. जो ज़्यादा अच्छे से perform किया that was usage and क्वालिटी पैरामीटर, जिसकी वजह से ये इंक्रीज आया. सो ई स्टेटमेंट इज इनकरेक्ट. सो आंसर क्या होगा सर? ACD इज एब्सोल्युटली द करेक्ट आंसर. ACD इज एब्सोल्युटली द करेक्ट आंसर. गॉट इट? वेरी गुड. वैभव, सिंधे, शिवांगी, नो, ओके, ओनली 2 हैव गिवन द करेक्ट आंसर. बढ़िया. चले जी, ये लो, ये होमवर्क है. दिस इज अ होमवर्क. I want everyone to reply in the comment section. अगर कमेंट 10 प्लस हुए, ये चलो 15 रख लेते हैं. अगर कमेंट्स करेक्ट आंसर के 15 से ज्यादा हुए, I will continue sharing homework question for every news I will be covering from next class onwards. But for that, I need your support. 15 comments are very, very, very important. Moving on to the last news, again a database news. So unclaimed bank deposits. I hope we all know what are unclaimed deposits. Unclaimed deposits are the deposits of the accounts in which no transaction has been done for 10 years. If no financial or non-financial transaction is done for 10 years, then that account is known as unclaimed deposit account, and this unclaimed deposit value is transferred by bank to RBI and RBI will keep these funds in DEF, that is that is Depositors Education Awareness Fund. अच्छा, मुझे बताना, एक और होमवर्क दे रहा हूँ, मैंने पढ़ाया इसलिए होमवर्क दे रहा हूँ. What is the rate of interest offered by RBI on DEF accounts? RBI rate of interest देता है DEF account पे या DEF deposits पे. वो rate of interest कितना है? That is the next homework. अब होगा क्या कि अगर आपका अकाउंट अनक्लेम हो चुका है तो आफ्टर द अकाउंट हैज बीन डिक्लेयर्ड एज अनक्लेम्ड, बैंक उस पैसे को आरबीआई के पास शिफ्ट करेगा. 10 साल तक का जो इंटरेस्ट है या जब से भी ये डिपॉजिट आपने किया था उस पे जो इंटरेस्ट है दैट विल बी पेड बाय बैंक. उसके बाद का जो इंटरेस्ट है दैट विल बी पेड बाय आरबीआई. लेकिन सर आप कह रहे हैं अनक्लेम्ड है, आरबीआई इंटरेस्ट क्यों देगा? सर आरबीआई इंटरेस्ट तब देगा व्हेन एन इंडिविजुअल कम्स इन द पिक्चर और उसे ही कम्स अप विद अ स्टेटमेंट कि सर आई वाज इन यूएस फॉर पास्ट 14 years बट बिफोर गोइंग आई हैव an account in SBI bank and this has been, I want the funds back. So our SBI will say कोई problem नहीं है सर, आप एक application दीजिए, complete your KYC and I will be dispatching the funds. Once SBI वो फंड्स उस इंडिविजुअल को देगा, तो उस फंड में क्या क्या होगा सर? उस फंड में डिपॉजिट होगा, प्रिंसिपल वैल्यू, इंटरेस्ट 10 साल का जो बैंक ने दिया, और बाकी का 4 साल का मेरे एग्जांपल के अकॉर्डिंग इंटरेस्ट कौन देगा? आरबीआई। सो ये पूरा पैसा किसे दे दिया जाएगा? इस इंडिविजुअल को, और फिर उसके बाद आरबीआई के ऊपर बैंक विल जनरेट अ क्लेम एंड दैट क्लेम विल बी पेड। अच्छा बताओ जरा, क्लेम कब कर सकता है बैंक? देयर इज अ टाइमलाइन गिवन बाय आरबीआई, इन फर्स्ट 5 days, in last 5 days of the month. We have studied this point. That is why I'm asking. बताना मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में सोच के, लेकिन इसका मैं होमवर्क रख रहा हूं। अगेन 15+ comments for homework. What is the interest paid by RBI on DEF unclaimed deposits? So unclaimed accounts are the accounts which has seen no activity for 10 years. These funds typically belong to the account holder who have either forgotten about them, passed away, or their heirs, they are unaware, or someone who is out of India who is not operating his account, someone in jail maybe not operating the account. So in that particular case, this scenario can be witnessed. Last 5 days is correct. Claim के लिए last 5 days, and to there was one more point in the first half of the month. वो क्या था? First half of the month में क्या करना है बैंक को? Give me that if you remember. ठीक है? So if I come up with the data now, as of now, the unclaimed deposits last 5 days is correct. Claim generate के लिए बिल्कुल सही है। अगर हम बात करें कैटेगरी वाइज, तो टोटल जो वैल्यू है ऑफ अनक्लेम्ड अकाउंट्स, दैट इज 67,000 crores, out of which majority funds are with public sector banks. If I calculate the percentage, it is 58 divided by 67. तो अगर मैं 58 को 67 से डिवाइड करूं, तो I would say 8 and 86% के आसपास होना चाहिए. So 86% of the total unclaimed deposits belong to public sector banks, and rest 15% they belong to private sector banks. उसमें भी highest unclaimed deposit कौन से बैंक के पास है? उसमें भी highest unclaimed deposit कौन से बैंक के पास है? Then the answer to this is highest unclaimed deposit is with SBI. Overall highest, public sector banks की category में भी highest है, and it is around 20,000 crore, which is almost अगर मैं 20,000 crore की बात करूं, to be very precise, it is 19. So if I divide 19 with 67, what will be the answer? If I divide 19 with 67, it is going to be 2 and 7, 28%. So almost 28% of the total unclaimed deposits are with SBI. तो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक में भी फर्स्ट SBI, ओवरऑल भी SBI फर्स्ट है. उसके बाद मैंने आपको रैंकिंग तो दे दी, बट दैट रैंकिंग के ऊपर आई हैव स्ट्राइक्ड इट. मैंने ये डेटास को भी स्ट्राइक आउट कर दिया. मतलब क्या, ये डेटा आपको याद नहीं रखना, बस आपके रेफरेंस के लिए दिया. लेकिन जो अगला पॉइंट आपको याद रखना है, दैट इज प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक में हाईएस्ट किसके पास है, और हाईएस्ट अनक्लेम्ड डिपॉजिट बिलोंग्स टू ICICI बैंक, दैट इज अराउंड 2,000 crore रुपीज. तो ये दो डेटाज है विच यू कैन रिमेंबर, rest you can ignore from this particular table. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर what all I would say initiatives have been taken by RBI to counter these unclaimed deposits. Sir, RBI has come up with Udgam portal. If you remember, RBI has already discussed. I'll not take much time. I'll not talk about it. I hope you remember. It's a पोर्टल जहां पे आप जाकर सर्च कर सकते हैं. अगर आपका कोई अकाउंट अनक्लेम्ड है तो उसकी डिटेल आपको मिल जाएगी. इट्स अ कंपोजिट पोर्टल फॉर ऑल द बैंक्स. Then in case of other measures, KYC reforms have been done, where now KYC update can be done by business correspondent. Even it can be done through video conferencing. That means through video call you can update your KYC. Even business or banking correspondents, they are allowed to provide you with KYC updates. You can even go and update your KYC from non-home branch. So these are the changes which have been done in order to ease out the process of KYC, so that the claim for unclaimed deposit funds can be generated. उसके अलावा एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट, कॉम्बैटिंग फाइनेंसिंग ऑफ टेररिज्म, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट, ये तो है ही, लेकिन इसमें जो अपडेट हुआ है, out of all of them KYC was updated or KYC related rules were updated. That is absolutely clear to you. So therefore the sharp rise in unclaimed deposit, it emphasizes the need for better awareness, proactive communication from banks and easy claim mechanism. Remember that this is a portal which is doing the rightful thing and many other initiatives should be taken by the government. Here we go with the news. The question. The question says, which of the following statement related to unclaimed bank deposits in India are correct? Unclaimed bank deposits in India are correct. Total unclaimed deposits is 67,000 crores. Public sector banks account for more than 85%. Yes, it's around 86%. So it's greater than 85%. That is true. So I go with it. I'll consider it correct. SBI has the highest share. Yes, sir. 28% of the total unclaimed deposits. प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक 20,000 करोड़ ना इनका टोटल तो शायद 9,000 के आसपास था, 8,000 या 8,600 करोड़. देन unclaimed deposits are defined as account without activity for 10 years. That is correct. So आंसर क्या होगा? B, C, E are correct. That is correct. Last question of the evening. Which of the following statement true regarding RBI's recent measures related to unclaimed deposits and virtual digital assets? Udgam portal allows individual to search unclaimed deposit accounts across multiple banks. Absolutely true. RBI plans to launch. ना RBI तो क्रिप्टो करेंसी पे ही राजी नहीं है. तो if RBI is not very much ready with cryptocurrency, तो RBI will not go for any kind of ETF. Udgam promotes transparency and helps in reducing inoperative accounts. उद्गम की वजह से inoperative accounts कम होंगे. बिल्कुल. अब आप आइडेंटिफाई करोगे तो obviously you will go for ऑपरेटिंग दैट अकाउंट, तो वो अकाउंट का जो काउंट है इनऑपरेटिव वो कम होगा. आरबीआई मैंडेट्स केवाईसी, एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एंड सीएफटी, दैट इज combating financing of terrorism for all banks and financial institute. Obviously RBI endorses cryptocurrency. ना, cryptocurrency से RBI का दूर तक कोई वास्ता नहीं है. So answer is going to be ACD, which is absolutely correct. ठीक है जी. फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन वाला जो पॉइंट, जो क्वेश्चन है, उसका आंसर मुझे जरूर दीजिएगा कमेंट सेक्शन में. दैट इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट इज होमवर्क. 15+ कमेंट्स होंगे. देन आई एश्योर यू फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट क्लास ऑनवर्ड्स you will get one question each for news I'm going to cover. This is which is going to be discussed in the class, and one question for every news you will get as a homework. लेकिन मैं अपनी efforts तभी बढ़ाऊंगा when you will increase your efforts to comment, and I will be looking forward for 15+ comments with correct answers in the video comments. Thank you so much guys. कोई भी डाउट इसके बाद आए तो प्लीज कमेंट सेक्शन में लिखकर अपने डाउट्स पूछ लीजिएगा. आई विल ट्राई माय लेवल बेस्ट टू आंसर ईच एंड एवरी डाउट ऑफ योर्स. बाय बाय, टेक केयर, गुड लक, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल, सी यू सून.